I recently found out that my older sister is actually my biological mother. My older sister Rose and I have had a great relationship since I was a baby. We were raised by an amazing adoptive family, and she has always taken care of me. I grew up in a warm and loving environment, but from what I was told, I was lucky. I was told the story of how my sister and I had two drug-addicted parents who never took care of us. They never bothered to feed us and would leave us at a friend's house who was into drugs for days while they went out partying. When my mom was pregnant with me, she smoked and got drunk pretty often. When I was born, my sister was the only one who took care of me. When I was 2 months old, they left both of us in a mall and disappeared. We received help from an elderly couple who later became our adoptive family. And we contacted the police, but my parents weren't at the house, which looked like a homeless cave. We never saw them again, and after several months in foster care, the couple that helped us throughout agreed to adopt us. Today, I'm 19, and Rose is 34. I still live with my adoptive family, and she lives about 20 minutes away, so I visit her at least 3 to 4 times a week. A few months ago, my friend offered me a DNA test to learn about my heritage since my sister wouldn't speak much about it. After the results came in, I found out some interesting things, like being 50% Ashkenazi Jew. Later, I discovered that I had an aunt in the system. I immediately reached out to Janet, and we agreed to meet in person. I did all of this without telling Rose anything. When we met up, I noticed that we shared some characteristics, like the same hair color and eyes. We tried to figure things out, so I asked her if she had a brother or sister. She told me that when she was 13, her 14-year-old sister got pregnant while being drunk with her junkie boyfriend. A month after giving birth, she ran away with the baby after some intensive fights with her parents. They never found her and stopped looking after 1.5 years. I connected the dots and asked to see a picture of her, so we went to her parents' house. Mom wasn't home, and the father had passed away 3 years ago. When I saw the picture, I knew it was Rose, 100%. Rose is my mom, and we were never abandoned. We didn't have drug-addicted parents, and she fabricated the entire story to me and our adoptive family. I immediately gave Janet a hug and told her that it's too much for me right now and asked her to keep it a secret for the time being. I went to my best friend's house, told him everything, and for a week now, I've been sleeping over at his place. I informed my parents and my sister that I'm staying at his house because he bought a new game that we both wanted for a long time, and I've been avoiding talking to Rose much. After a week of avoiding her, I went to her house with a picnic basket by surprise, hoping to have a chance to speak with her. She was happy to see me, and I told her to sit down because we needed to talk. I started by saying that I know she has a secret that she's been hiding from me for years. Her face turned red, and she started crying. She knew what I was talking about. I told her the story about the DNA test, about Janet, and basically what I shared with you guys in the last post. After she calmed down a bit, she told me the truth. She explained how she got drunk at a party and ended up sleeping with one of the guys who was into drugs. He didn't care much about a future child and was nonchalant about it. She later found out that he was stabbed in prison 10 years ago for drug dealing, assault, and armed robbery. She told me how her mother used to convince her father to persuade her to give up the idea of keeping the baby. They would constantly argue with her. When the baby was born, they told her on the spot that she had brought shame upon the family and that they wouldn't help raise the baby in any way. They expected her to work to support herself and me. After a couple of months, with financial help from her friends and juggling between work and taking care of me, she had a massive fight with her parents. She told them that she and I were better off without them, as they were not providing any support. They sent her to her room, but she escaped in the middle of the night, hitchhiked to a neighboring country, and by morning, she was already there. She tried to take care of me for a few days, found an old abandoned house that used to have homeless people coming around every now and then, and took me to the mall when I started crying. She started crying too. The couple that adopted us immediately came to our aid and asked if we had lost our mother. Rose seized the opportunity and came up with a story and an alias. The police figured out that we weren't in the system for multiple reasons. We were placed in foster care for a year and a half until the couple who helped us decided to make the effort and adopt us so we wouldn't be separated. It took them a few months and a couple of lawyers, but they managed to adopt both of us. Rose knew all along that her parents were looking for her. She reached out to them and told them in a letter that she was fine and taking care of herself and me, that she wasn't homeless, and that she had found a nice couple to help her with the baby. She made it clear that she was never coming back, and they should stop looking. A month later, they stopped. A few years later, her father secretly went on a quest to find her. After searching for a long time, he found her and apologized. After a while, she forgave him, and they kept in touch secretly. He met me a few times, and I knew him as one of Rose's old friends from the park. He helped us a few times, and I found out that he passed away. Ironically, I'm glad I got to know him before he passed, even if I didn't know who he really was. By the way, the adoptive family never found out about the whole situation. So, after hearing this, I told her that we missed out on a lot by not knowing she is my mother. I expressed my understanding that she did the right thing. I then pulled out an "It's a boy" sign from the picnic basket, along with some snacks for a belated baby shower. We hugged for about an hour, had a lot of fun, watched a movie, and I headed to my parents' house to have dinner with them. I'm glad she is my mother. I feel complete for the first time in years. I don't care that she lied because she did it for the greater good, and I honestly can't imagine my life right now if she hadn't. Thanks, Reddit, for helping me clarify my feelings and providing mental support to cope with everything that happened.